But yeah, okay, let's start then, shall we? All right, welcome in. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you very much for joining. My name is Korp. I run the Korp Academy where I teach people to draw. So I'm a full-time artist and I colour in for a living. So it's the best job in the world. But yeah, I really enjoy showing people how to draw as well and how easy it is to draw. So that's what we're going to do today. So I'm working with New Urban Era, and what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to draw step by step, nice and easy, show you how to draw some elves. Now the good thing about these elves is that as we draw them, I'll show you the main process for drawing these elves, but then what I want you to do towards the end of the session is add your own colours, add your own stripes, add your own patterns, add your own personality to these elves as well. Okay, so there's plenty of opportunity for you to do what you want to do with it. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to do something called art drills, which is just a quick warm-up exercise. For that you'll need a pen and a piece of paper. That's all you're going to need, pen and a piece of paper to start off with. So make sure you've all got that. And then I'll switch my camera and we'll get started with our first part, which is art drills. Okay, just a quick warm-up exercise. Right, here we go. Just trying to find out how to change my camera. There we go. Here we go. So this is what you need. And I've got an A4 sheet of paper. And I'm just using a Sharpie pen. I suppose it's okay if you use a pencil or something like that. It doesn't really matter too much. Right, is everybody ready? If anybody falls behind or anything like that, just put something in the chat or come up on camera, raise your hand, whatever you need to do, and I'll see if I can slow things down, speed things up, do things again, whatever you need, okay? Right, everybody ready then? So we're going to move through this really quickly. Art drills first, then we'll do our main character later. So art drills, follow this. A4 sheet of paper, this portrait orientation, so that means upright. Across the top of the page, we're going to just draw a bouncy line. Don't think about it too much, just go in and whack in a bouncy line across the top of your page. You can see how big I've done it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bounces is kind of where you want to go for on this one. Okay, everybody got that in? What we're going to do next is we're going to draw that bouncy line again. But this time we're going to change it a little bit. We're going to draw that bouncy line upside down and inside this bouncy line. So watch this. Let's starting in here. Draw that bouncy line again, upside down and inside that previous bouncy line. Now I don't want anybody stressing about things not going quite right. It doesn't matter if it's different to what I'm drawing. That's the whole point. As artists, you always want to be a little bit different to everybody else. So just do the best you can. Make those marks on the paper. If you make any mistakes, don't worry about it. It's just a little bit of drawing that we're doing. Okay, so we've got that. Yeah, we've done a bouncy line. We've done it twice. And this is how I draw intestines or brains and stuff like that. So weird stuff. So that's a good idea if you want to try and add some weird things. Look at that. If you close those off, it just looks like a scrunched up worm. Okay, we're going to draw a bouncy line 2 more times. This time, let's try and draw a bouncy line in a circle. So it's going to look like this. Now that's easy, isn't it? It's just a flower. Okay, your turn. Go ahead and do that. Could be a flower, could be a cloud, could be a puff of smoke, all sorts of things. Next, what we're going to do, we're going to draw a bouncy line one last time. This time, we're going to draw that bouncy line, but we're going to draw it in a circle, but we're going to draw it inside out over here, okay? So watch this. This is what it looks like inside out. It goes like that. Have a little go at that. Now, again, don't panic if you can't do it. Somebody once described this as like a tongue twister for your fingers. So the whole point is that sometimes it's quite difficult to do, but you just practice this every day. It's art drills. You do a little bit of this every morning, and that will help you get better at your drawing. So you can see that's just another bouncy line. We've done 4 bouncy lines. We've got loads of different things. We've got this scrunched up worm. We've got this flower, cloud kind of thing. But then on the inside out one, we've got this like explosion or a tear in the page that you can use. So you can see how just one separate line, one individual line can create loads of different things. Here's where it gets really clever. Let's take this shape and put it inside this shape. Look at that. It gets even weirder. Okay, well done. That's stage one. Stage one of art drills is done. Let's go do stage two of art drills. We're going to do one more line. We're going to draw that one line 4 times, and it's going to create 4 completely different things, okay? So let's go and do it again then. Are you ready for this then? This next line I call the spring line. And it's like a spring. It's like a never-ending lowercase e. So have a little go at drawing that across your page. And then once we've done that, we're going to draw that spring line again. This time we're going to turn it upside down. Exactly the same line, just turn it upside down. Might be a little bit more difficult to draw, but have a little go at that as well. And absolutely, I'm giving bonus points to anybody that just turned their page upside down to draw it that way. You find whatever's quick and easy for you to draw and go with it. Okay, so we've drawn our spring line twice. Let's draw our spring line for the 3rd time. So if you remember what we did for the 3rd time is we did it in a circle. We're going to draw that spring line in a circle. Now it will look like this. And the bit that we're concentrating on here is that when we get to almost being finished, so over here, when we get to almost being finished, this is where we want to try and get like a seamless join. Get it all joined up together so you can't tell where you started and where you finished. That's the aim, that's the objective of that one. Don't panic if you don't get it. I'd rather just see a little mess of a scribble on the page than nothing at all. How did we do with that one? Did you all get on okay with that one? Okay. Let's level up now. We're going to try that one more time. Spring line in a circle like this, but inside out. Even I have to concentrate on this one, so don't panic if you don't get it. Just give it your best effort. What you might find is some people around you might have already done the spring line in a circle inside out, because that's what I find is that most people kind of just get it the other way around. So here we go. This is what it will look like. And again, what you're concentrating on here is a seamless join, so you can't tell where you started and where you finished. Now, don't worry if your hand starts going somewhere else and you start making a few mistakes. It's those little mistakes that make us as artists. Some of my best pieces of artwork have come from when I've made a mistake. My brain has kind of gone up a gear to try and fix that mistake. So don't panic if there's any mistakes. Now, has everybody got a page full of little scribbles and doodles like that? I don't know whether you can turn cameras on or not, but if you can, it'll be a great idea to turn the cameras on now. If not, don't worry about it. But what I would like you to do is for everybody to hold up their artwork. And the whole point of this is to show everybody your artwork. But just whilst you're showing everybody yours, have a little look at everybody else's, and you can see how everybody's done something slightly different, yeah? And that's the whole point, is that everybody does something slightly different with their artwork, okay? Now, this is just art drills. This is just a warm-up exercise, so we're going to file this away. Do you know how we file this away? Let's just screw it up. We don't need that anymore. It's all in here, okay? Just remember, it's all in here. So screw it up. Let's get rid of it. And let's go on with our main drawing now, okay? So go and grab yourself a clean sheet of paper. Clean sheet of paper, and we're going to put on a couple of guidelines with a pencil first on this one, okay? Are you ready for this? The guidelines, I like working with pens. I like working straight in with pens. I think you make a few mistakes along the way, but you get better faster if you go in straight in with a pen. If you go in with a pencil too much, what happens is you end up rubbing bits out and you're going backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. If you use a pen all the time, I think you just move forwards all the time. So that's why I like using pens. On saying that, we are going to use the pencil just for a very few amount of guidelines just so that we can help position this character. Now, if you remember at the start of the session, I said we're gonna draw an elf today. The only two sections we're going to draw with pencil for this elf are the head and the body. Okay, and we're not going to draw like loads of detail or anything like that. It's just going to be a circle at the top and then like a rectangular triangle kind of Dorito shape down in the middle. Okay, so it's just the head and the body that we're going to draw with a pencil. We're just going to do the basic shapes. So the first shape is the head. Now, the only thing you need to remember about this head is it's going to be a circle, first of all. But we are going to have like a pointy hat. The pointy hat's going to kind of come over at an angle. So you don't have to be too low, but don't go right at the top of the page because you need to have a little space for your pointy hat. So I'm going to go about here, look. And I'm going to draw a circle in. I'm going to go really dark on my circle so that you can see it. But on yours, you only want to go just quite a light line, just so that you can see it, but it's easy to rub out afterwards, because this is just a guideline that will disappear hopefully later on. The only reason I'm going dark is so that you can see it on camera. You guys want to go a little bit lighter with it. Okay, we've got that in. So second shape. The second shape is going to be the body. The body's going to be like in the middle. It's going to be like rectangular, but we're going to kind of close it up a little bit at the top. Okay, so let's go for something around about here. Look. That kind of shape. Looks a little bit like a keyhole, yeah? Like an old-fashioned keyhole. And again with this, make sure you've left yourself a little bit of space either side, because we are going to be putting in some arms, a little bit of space down the bottom because this elf's going to have legs. Try not to get lured into rubbing out these lines and putting them back in so that it's exactly the same as mine, because that's not what you want. It's going to be cool to see some of these characters with bigger heads and smaller bodies, or skinnier bodies and fatter heads. It's going to be cool to see them all in different shapes and sizes. That's really the whole point of these pencil lines, is that it doesn't matter how big they are, what shape they are. Everything we do afterwards will just kind of fall into place. So we are going to make this available as a video, so just remember this. If you ever get to watch this back as a video, try it out with a different shaped head. Maybe do a square head and a round body and a skinny body or something like that. Okay, everybody got those two pencil lines in? Should we get going on actually drawing our character? Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit for this one so you can see even better what I'm doing. We're going to start at the top. We're going to work our way down. That's probably a little bit too much. There you go. We're going to start at the top, work our way down with this character, okay? So now I'm going to use a felt tip pen for this. I'm using a Sharpie, so you know how fat a Sharpie is. That's kind of what I'm using for this. You feel free to use whatever you prefer. If you want to carry on with pencil, you carry on with pencil. But at this stage, I like a felt tip pen. And like I say, everything is going to be nice and easy, step by step, and I'll take my time so you can keep up. Right, should we do it then? Let's see if we can put a little line across the top. This is going to be for the hat. Now you kind of want to go, what we're going to do is start just outside the pencil line here. And we're going to finish just outside the pencil line here with a line going all the way across. Now watch this, so just outside, all the way across, just outside. So there's our first line. Okay, that's going to be the bottom of the hat. What we're going to do next is we're going to throw in a couple of ears. The ears are nice and simple, and again you can go as big or as small as you want. Maybe even make them a little bit pointy. I like a capital C for the ears. So you see this part of the pencil line just here below that pen line that we've just done. Let's go and put in a C shape just there. Capital C. Over on the other side, let's do the same kind of thing. Don't stress if they're not exactly the same shape or same size. Doesn't matter. Sometimes I think it looks quite cool to have one big ear, one small ear. I definitely do that with the eyes. Okay, we've got that in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use the rest of that pencil line to finish off the actual head. So we're going to start from this part just underneath the hat and do a little line that goes down to the ear. Don't go through that ear, leave the gap where that ear is, and then pick up from the bottom of the ear, and we're going to follow that pencil line all the way around for the chin until you get to the other ear. And then we'll finish that off from the top of the other ear, going all the way into that hat. Now remember, you should still have those two little lines flicking out there and just there. That's important that you've still got those two little lines flicking out, okay? The reason we've got those two little lines flicking out is because this is what's going to make it look like the hat is wrapped around the head. So watch this. The next two lines that we're going to do, we're going to start on the head. We're going to go round that little line that's flicking out and just flick the pen upwards like this. So starting on the head, go round that little line and then flick the pen up. We're going to do the same on the other side. Start on the head, go round that line and flick the pen up. Okay. The next bit is a little bit more fun. You get to put in a zigzag. We're going to join these two lines across the top, join them together with a zigzag. Something like this. Just work your way across. Till you get all the way to the other side. Don't worry if you've got some zigzags, some triangles bigger than others. That doesn't matter. Now, question is, how much space have you got across the top to go and put a pointy hat in? So I'm going to go and put my pointy hat in. Now, the main thing to remember with this pointy hat is that the lines need to point towards the edge of the head over here. Yeah? So we'll take one line here and let's go out like that. We'll take another line over the other side, look, from about there. Go out like that. Now you can make that hat into whatever shape you want. You can do it like a short point. You can just even put a dome across the top if you want. You could just leave it as the crown and go over the pencil line and make sure you go over the rest of the head there. There's loads of different options. I like this particular hat because I can put a bobble on the end. So let's go and put a little bobble on the end as well. Okay, this is good. This is a great start. We're going to go in and do the face in a second. Before we do the face though, I want to teach you about one of my favourite techniques for drawing. Now what I'm going to show you now is called double lining. And double lining doesn't mean making the line twice as thick, it means making the line twice as wonky. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to go over all of those lines again, but make the lines wonkier. Wonkier lines, I think, look better and they are much, much easier to draw with smooth lines. So when you're going after perfection, if you want to be a perfectionist, don't try and go after a perfectly smooth line. Try and go after a perfectly wonky line. So let's go and put some wonkiness in this. Just going over all of those lines again. It means you're going to have some fat bits and some thin bits in all of those lines. It also means you can kind of change the shape a little bit of some things by making certain parts of the line fatter or thinner. So it's a great opportunity to kind of fix things as well. You'll also find that any mistakes that you make in the future, you can potentially hide behind a double line by making a part of a line a little bit fatter. So have a little go at that. Do some double wonkiness. Double lining everything. Now I'm going to mention that quite a lot, to double line everything you do, so just keep on doing it. Don't wait for me. The only consistent thing about all your lines today should be how inconsistent they are. Look how fat that one is down the bottom there and how skinny it is over here. That's the kind of stuff we like. Now, if you're a fast drawer and you're keeping up really nicely, then go and do some decorations in the hat. I'm not going to show you what to do in the hat. You do whatever you want in that hat. Go and put some stripes or some shapes or some circles, a moon, a star, something like that in the hat. In the meantime, I'm going to work down in the face. So what we're going to do first in the face, let's go and do the ears. Here we go, look, with a little curve and a little flick down. Same on the other side, starting on the outside, little curve, little flick down. I mean, obviously inside the ear, but a little curve there, a little flick down there. That gives us a little bit more shape in those ears, yeah? Then let's go and throw in some eyes. Go as big or as small as you like with the eyes. You know where eyes live. I'm going to go for 2 circles, look. Remembering to double line it, so go around those 2 circles twice. Don't worry if they're a little bit wonky. Wonky's good. 2 circles for some eyes is our next job. Then we'll go in with a little line. We're going to put an eyelid on those eyes. So we're going to half close them, look. Like this, look. Little line going across. Half closed. I mean, they look fully closed at the moment. But you put a pupil on, just here, let's have a pupil looking right at us. For the nose, next we're going to do the nose. The nose is nice and easy. We're going to put a little U shape right in the middle of the eyes, like this. Don't forget to double line it. The tips of that U-shape, the end of that U-shape, you want to just flick your pen so you get a nice thin end. But the bottom part, the underside of that U-shape, you want it to be quite thick, quite fat. The fatter that line, the bigger the shadow. The bigger the shadow, the more it will look like the nose is sticking out. Okay, we're on the home straight now with the face. Let's go and put in what I call the happy sausage shape. So just draw in a great big sausage in that remaining space that you've got. Remembering to double line, go around it twice. We've got a great big sausage in there. And then it's over to you. What kind of teeth do you want to put in on your character? You can do anything from just like flick a line there to put some real shiny teeth in. You can put some bouncy teeth in, put some square teeth, put some vampire teeth. Whatever you want to do, it's over to you to put some teeth in. Feel free, if you've got no ideas, just feel free to copy what I'm doing. I'm going to do some bouncy teeth. Now, when I do bouncy teeth, I always start from the middle and then bounce out. The reason I start from the middle is because then I know there's going to be an element of symmetry to the teeth, which I kind of like. So there's some bouncy teeth there. Let's put some bouncy teeth at the bottom as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'd definitely colour the back of the mouth in black. Now don't worry if you're not getting this bit done very quickly, you can always do the colouring in at the end of the session. There's plenty of opportunity afterwards to finish off these bits like the colouring in. You don't have to do that straight away. Okay, last thing that I like to do on these faces is just a little crease there. Little crease there. Just to make it look like that mouth is really wide open. Beautiful. There we go. That's the head done. Let's take a little look at what it should look like. It should look something similar to that. Hopefully you've got something similar, but not exactly the same. You don't want it to be exactly the same. Okay, ready for the next bit? Next bit's nice and easy. We're going to go move down into the body. So let me just zoom out a little bit. We've got our head done. Let's go and work on the body. Now with this body, we've got this like triangular shape down here. There's only two things we need to do really, and that is put in a some sort of neckwear and throw in a belt inside here as well. Okay, so watch this then. We're going to put in, so you know like we did that zigzag line across the top there, we're going to do something similar to that. So just outside of that triangle, do two little lines sticking out. They're not the arms. This is going to be the neckline. Then what we'll do is we'll join those two bits together with a zigzag. Don't forget to double line it. That's our first step. Second step, let's outline the rest of the body and we'll throw in a quick belt. Ready for this? Nice and quick. We're going to go down, across. Now, if your pencil line isn't in the perfect place for you, remember your pencil line is just a guide. So as long as you get your pen lines in the right place, that's the important thing. There we go. We'll double line the body. And let's go and throw in a belt. Belt is nice and easy. Look, all we're going to do is two lines across. Inside those two lines across, we're going to do two lines down. Inside those two lines down, we're going to put in a little box. Okay, so if you guys are colouring in yours later, just remember this is the belt part, this is the buckle. So this will be like a nice gold or yellow, this will be a brown or a black. Let's go and double line all of that. Just going over all those lines twice. There's our body done. In fact, let's finish off with a few buttons. There we go. There's our body done. Much quicker to draw a body than a head, isn't it? Now, one thing I want to tell you at this point as well is don't forget, whatever you're drawing, your drawing is your drawing. It's your artwork. You can do whatever you want with it, okay? So if you've got an idea, if you're drawing along and you think, I've got a better idea than what Korp's coming up with, then you draw whatever you want to draw, yeah? If you're struggling with ideas, then that's what I'm here for, so you can just copy along with what I'm doing. Okay. That's body done. Let's go and do the arms. Now I'm going to show you a really neat way of doing some hands. So either side of the body, we're going to throw in a couple of hands, just there and just there. We're going to throw in some hands, and then afterwards we'll join them in with a couple of lines to the armpits over here, okay? Right then, watch this. Are you ready for this? The first line we're going to do is a thumb. Starting from there, we're going to jump up and we're going to go all the way around, back up again like that. So starting from there, jump up, go outside and hook all the way back inside again. We got that bit? That's the thumb, okay? Now don't worry if you get it a bit wrong, it just means your elf is going to have been in an industrial accident and had its thumb twisted. That'll be fine. If the worst comes to the worst, you could just draw some black mittens over the thumbs, over the hands. So there's loads you can do to kind of solve any problems if you do make any mistakes. So don't panic about any mistakes. Off the side of that thumb that we've just drawn, let's draw the first finger. The big index finger is going to look like this. There are 7 lines. That's all you need to remember. 7 lines for how to draw a hand. Once you've drawn that index finger, look, watch this little line here. Little flick there. Right at the top. Inside. That's 3 lines. You're halfway through drawing a hand. Right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw the other fingers. Now, cartoon characters only traditionally have 1 thumb and 3 fingers. So it makes it nice and easy. So let's go and draw the other 2 fingers. So you see that shape that we've got there? We're going to draw that again, this time coming off from the thumb. About there. And then another one underneath. That obviously means there is only 2 more lines to do. We've drawn 5 lines, 2 more lines. Are you ready for these next 2 lines? We've drawn the thumb, we've drawn the index finger, and we've drawn the other 2 fingers there. These are the last 2 lines. The penultimate line is this one. It's going to go from there into there. So it comes out of that little finger, but it points towards where we started that very first line. And then the final line is like a little bit of a wristband. So just here, look, going from there to there, joining it all together. Now, hopefully you guys have got something that looks similar to a hand. Don't worry if it looks a little bit deformed or a little bit all over the place. It's really cool to be unique with your hands. Let's go and join this up now. So this is the fun bit. This is where we join it up to the body. So there you go, there's a hand. And all we're going to do, look, just put in a little line. A couple of little lines just to join it into the body like that. Right, now you've practiced it once, let's go and do the same on the other side. The only problem is with the other side is every single line is going to be mirrored. It's going to be the other way around. So let's go and draw it. I'll do it step by step with you. We're going to go and draw it on this side now, okay? So the first thing, remember, we've got 7 lines. The first thing is maybe don't put it exactly horizontal with the other hand. Maybe put it a little bit higher or a little bit lower or change the angle. Have a little bit of fun with it. You don't have to put it in exactly the same place. I'm going to put mine a little bit higher. But the first thing we need to do is that thumb. So you remember how we did the thumb? It was this kind of shape. Goes from there all the way around. And then that last little line just tucks back in. Our second line is that big index finger coming out of the thumb like that. And then line number 3, nice and easy, that little flick just there. 3 lines, you're almost halfway through your hand. Next bit's nice and easy. It's just those two hooks round for the other two fingers. So you've already got one finger in there, so use that as a bit of a gauge for the size that you need to draw this next finger. And let's put in two fingers, like one there, one there. Don't forget to double line as you're going along with this as well. So usually when I'm drawing cartoon characters or anything like that, I hate drawing hands. So I usually avoid drawing hands by putting the hands in pockets, having them behind the back, or I just draw the head or something like that. But this is a neat way, a really good way of, if you can't think of what hand to draw, just draw this hand on any character and you've got a really nice hand in there. Okay, let's carry it on then. So last two lines. One line coming out from that little finger pointing towards the line that we started with, and then joining those two bits together with a little wrist shape. So you remember what's next, don't you? Let's go and put that arm in. If you want, have a little bend in it like this, so we can have it going like there, bending in. And we've drawn ourselves a little elbow. Double line it. Now don't forget what I was saying earlier about the hat, which is that you can decorate the hat whichever way you want, put some stripes on it, whatever you want. Same with the arms here as well. Maybe you want to put some stripes on there, cuffs, tattoos, I don't know, put whatever you want on those arms as well. That is totally down to you on what you want to put in there. Okay, let's go and put some legs in. Next is the legs, and then we can have a little bit of fun. We're just finishing off our characters, okay? So when it comes to like the stripes on the arms and the hat and stuff like that, I am going to put some ideas in right at the end of the session. So if you're struggling with ideas, feel free to copy me. If you've got your own ideas, though, be throwing those in whenever you get a chance. Okay, good progress. Let's go and move down now into the legs. Are you ready for this? First thing we're going to do is we're going to draw the ankle, or more appropriately, it will be the bit of the leg that's going into the shoe. Okay, so don't go too close to the bottom for this bit. And so imagine a leg coming from this side. It's going to come down to about there. And what we'll do is just a little hook like that. And then what we're going to do is just on the inside of that hook, we're going to do two lines that go up into the body. So like this. And what's important about this bit is obviously double lining it, which is what I'm doing now. But the other thing is, you see this bit down the bottom here, you see how it overlaps on both sides. Same way as we did with the hat, it overlaps on both sides. And again, that is to make it look like the shoe is wrapped around the leg. Let me show you what that looks like. There you go. So you can see my leg is about similar thickness to the arms. Doesn't matter if you've got a fat leg or a thin leg. It all looks good. Okay, we've got that in. Let's move down to the bottom again. And this time, remember, again, the same way as we did the hat, we're going to put two little lines coming this time from the leg, down that way, from the leg, go around that little flick, and over that way. Two little lines coming down. We're going to join those two lines together now. Let's join them with a zigzag. One of the things that is going to look great with your artwork is if you have repeating patterns all over the place. When people look at your artwork, if they see the same pattern in a few different places, their brain kind of rewards them, gives them a feeling, feel-good factor. So if you've got zigzags there, zigzags there, zigzags there, and somebody looks at your artwork and they're like, oh, look, zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. That makes them feel good, and that's what's going to make them enjoy looking at your art a little bit more. So it's always worth putting in these repeating patterns in there. So let's join in with a little zigzag across there. Look. Now we're going to make the foot really easy to draw. We're going to come down. You see where the inside leg is, just here. Follow that line down just a little bit more to about there. That becomes the heel, yeah? This is the back of the foot and the heel. What we're going to do next is we're going to go across the bottom for the sole of the foot, and then we're going to go and do a big old spiral, big nice wonky spiral. Leave a big gap between the spiral because we are going to have to go back on it and do it again. Okay, so like this, let's just go across here and then a big old wonky spiral, something like that. Once you've done that big old spiral, wherever you finish from, we're going to start where you finish from, which is just there, and we're going to slowly go back, all the way back until we get to the other side of the ankle just here, okay? Now what you want to try and do is you want to try and have the shoe quite thin here and get thicker and thicker and thicker as we go around until we get to that point. Okay, so like this. See, it's quite thin. It's getting thicker, thicker, and then we get to this point and join it all in. Let's double line all of that. And maybe if you've got space, put a little bell on the end of that. There we go. Got a little bit of space for a little bell on the end. Okay, we've got that now. All committed to memory, so we're just going to repeat that. Same with the hands where we just flipped it over. We're going to do the same with the legs. Let's flip it over. So if you remember, first step was that little curve and the two lines going up for the legs. So just bring it over here. A little curve, two lines going up for the legs. Not forgetting to double line as you go along. Nice and wonky with your line work. Once you've got that in, we've got our leg in, we can put the next bit in, which was that little frill going around the shoe. Remember how we did this? Starting on the leg, drop down. Start on the leg, go around that little flick, drop down. We're going to join these together with a little zigzag again. And then we'll throw the shoe in. If you remember, what we did with the shoe was we came from the inside leg and did an extra line that went down there for the heel. Then we did that fun bit of the shoe coming all the way out here and hooking all the way around. Nice wonky spiral. Let's finish this shoe off then. Let's go all the way back on ourselves. So wherever we finish that spiral, start there. Go all the way back, follow it all the way back, just making the shoe a little bit thicker as you go along. Until you get to the other side of the ankle. And then don't forget, double line it. Make it wonky. And throw in a little bell. Last thing we're going to do down here. Last thing we're going to do down here is we're going to throw in a little shadow. Now, what happens is when you draw characters like this, it just looks like it's floating a bit there. So, in fact, we're not going to... Should we draw a shadow? No, I'm not going to draw a shadow because one of the things that Vic wants to do, what New Urban Era want to do, is they want to see if they can animate your elves. So just be aware that these elves, your drawings, are going to be used. They're going to be hopefully projected, but they're definitely going to be animated. And little sections like this where the elbows and the shoulders are and the legs, they're all going to be able to be moved around. So I'm not going to put a drop shadow in because otherwise we won't be able to do that. Okay, but normally what you do is put a big old shadow down the bottom, and it just makes your character look like it's actually standing on the ground rather than just sort of laying flat on a piece of paper, which is what it looks like now. We are done with your elf drawing, so really it's over to you now to do whatever you want to do to finish yours off. Now, if you can, don't put anything on the outside, or not too much on the outside, because New Urban Era won't be able to use it to do the animations. So just concentrate on decorating the inside of your character, putting some colour in. So I'm going to do that now with you. So we've got another few minutes. So I'm going to do that now with you. I'm going to start at the top, work my way down on the stuff that I like to put in, but you feel free to do whatever you want on yours, okay? Now, it could be that you want to start throwing in some colour now. That's absolutely fine. Go and grab those colours and go and throw in some colour. I'm going to keep mine black and white. I like the idea of just needing a pen and a piece of paper, and that's all I need to be able to draw some nice, cool things. But here we go. I'm going to start at the top, work my way down. Here's some ideas of what you can do with your character. Okay, so right on the hat, let's go and put in, first of all, this bit here. Let's just go and flick in a couple of lines there so it looks like we've got a bit of a crease in the hat there. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a patch. I'm going to work quite fast on these bits as well, so you pick and choose what you want to do on yours. And also, these things that I'm going to show you, they're transferable, so that means you don't have to do it in the hat. What I'm going to draw next in the hat, you could put on the body. Absolutely fine. I'm going to put in a patch, look. Little square, a couple of little lines. There's my patch. Maybe in this hat, I want to put in a bit more detail. So let's put some little diamonds in. And what this also does is it gives you something else to colour in, so you can separate like a red and a gold or something like that in there. When you're drawing the face, when you're colouring in the face, don't forget this is this character, give it some little cheekbones. That'll be really cool. I'm going to flick a few lines around. Watch these lines, look. See those little flicks across the eyes? What a difference they made to the character. You might even have space to put in some little bags underneath the eyes, like that. Also, when you're doing your character, don't forget to put in some little freckles and things like that. Little spots and freckles. Let's move down a little bit. That's enough in the face, isn't it? Let's move down into the body. Now into the body, do you remember I said about what patterns we can do on the arms? You can do zigzags, stripes. I'm going to do some stripes here. I'm just going to keep it nice and simple. Putting some little lines in for some stripes. So you can go and do that, or put a zigzag in. Or, you know, that bouncy line that we did in drills, you could go and put one of those in. In the body of the character, what do we want to do in the body? I might just colour this bit in. Make the belt black. You could put a little pocket on your character's clothing. Whatever you want. I'm going to go and put in a little patch again because I've already done patches. Let's go and put some more patches in. But yeah, just have a little bit of fun with it. I'm going to put those little diamonds I did in the hat. I'm going to put those in the neck piece as well. Look. In those hands, you could probably have a little flower or a little present, or he could be holding a sack of presents. So do something with the hands as well. Just try not, if wherever you put in the hands, if your character is holding something, try not to have it overlap with any other part of the character, just so that we can animate it nicely. Let's move down into the legs and the feet. Last thing I'm going to do, let's just put, well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little shadow here, look. And you see how just putting that little shadow there just sends those legs back a little bit further. Then I'm going to put in some stripes. Again, the same kind of stripes I've got on the arms, so I've got a bit of consistency. What about on those shoes? Do you want to put some laces in? Something like that. Look, some little lines. Hoops. Flick out some lines there. Maybe a few little creases. How are we doing? I think we're about done with that. So there you go. Last thing to do, just give it a little scan over. Make sure everything looks okay on your artwork, that you're happy with it. Now's your last chance just to make any like little finishing touches before I disappear. And then the last thing I'd suggest doing on your artwork is putting your name on it. Now, rather than putting your name in pencil on the back, why not write it in pen on the front where everybody can see it? Nice and big so everybody knows it's yours. Up there in the corner so it's out of the way. I signed mine DMK. And I think that is a good finish. So yeah, if you like what we've done, sign it. If you don't like it, put somebody else's name on it. And don't forget that your artwork needs to be sent over to New Urban Era, which I think your teachers will do that for you. And yeah, let's do one last little look at everybody's artwork. So as you know, I think art's a team sport. You can learn a lot from looking at everybody's artwork. So hold up your artwork so that everybody in your class can see it. And whilst you're holding up yours, I'm going to have a little look. So thank you, Japan, for coming on board. I can see your artwork. That's awesome. I'm liking that one. Yeah, loving these hats. The patterns in the hats. Well done, miss. What's going on? Yeah, that's good. We've got the belt in there. That's good. Excellent. These are looking great. Ah, look at that. That's fantastic. That's a big smile on that one. Love that. Excellent stuff. Yeah, whilst you're holding yours up, have a little look at everybody else's artwork because you can kind of get some good ideas, get some inspiration from what everybody else has done. I'm loving these shoes. Those shoes are good there, mate. Yeah, well done you. Awesome stuff. How are we doing at the back? Yeah, well done you too. That's fantastic. That's a tiny one. You've got loads of space to put another one in there. Well done. Oh, look at the size of those legs. They're massive legs. It looks like you could draw a horse in between there. Awesome stuff. Well done. These are looking great. Yeah, well done you lot. Excellent. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that. We're about to get kicked out, so yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing your artwork up at in Tamworth. So thanks for taking part, and I'll see you all soon. Okay, take care, everybody. Bye bye. See you later. Bye bye.